DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. Now, here he is, the one, the only...
Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples, and if any of them say the secret word, they'll win an extra $100. The word tonight is house. I want to ask you a question. Is it true that Sheena of the Jungle is your daughter?
Mrs. Letitia J. Holloway, Mr. Ray Bradbury are waiting to talk to you, so folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Say the secret word, and you each get an extra $50. It's a common word, something you see every day. Ray Bradbury and Miss Letitia Holloway. Mrs. Holloway, where are you from?
I'm from a little town in Illinois, Oglesby.
Well, you're married, Letitia, huh?
I am a widow now.
Oh.
I have been.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Would you mind telling us how old you are, Letitia?
I'm 76.
Oh, gosh. Well, you're a fine-looking 76. Are you entertaining any thoughts of remarriage, Letitia, or are you content with your single status?
Well, I don't get lonely. I don't get lonely.
Well, you can be married and be lonely, too, you know.
You can, and I'm really quite content.
There used to be an old song called When I'm With You, I'm Lonely. You are quite content.
I'm quite content.
Well, that's
But
gratifying.
I don't think I'd find a man that would want to marry a woman that don't like to cook. And I don't like to cook. I can make beautiful angel food, and I can serve a fine company dinner. But the...
You don't want to cook for your husband?
8, 12, and 6 routine is not the way I want to spend my last 25 years.
I see. What do you do to keep occupied? Do you play the horses? Do you have a job or a hobby?
I'm a babysitter.
A babysitter? Well, for those who don't know, a babysitter is someone who gets 75 cents an hour for watching television and cleaning out your icebox. Are you a Ray Bradbury?
Yes, sir.
Where are you from, Ray?
Waukegan, Illinois.
Waukegan. How long ago?
35 years.
35. Well, Jack Benny was born in Waukegan about that time. Did you happen to know Jack?
No,
in Illinois?
I don't know him, but my mother went to school with Jack.
Why, that dirty crook. Huh? What kind of a job do you have, Ray?
I'm a writer.
What kind of a rider? Pony Express, a motorcycle, or what?
Writer, W-R-I-T-E-R.
Oh, it's very refreshing, a writer who can spell. Now, you're certain you can't be much of a writer. What have you written besides Notes to the Milkman?
Well, a number of books, one called Fahrenheit 451, one called The Martian Chronicles, another called The Golden Apples of the Sun, all from Doubleday. A lot of short stories for the New Yorker, the Post, Collier's, magazines of that sort.
Well, you're a real successful writer, huh? Well, have you done any other writing besides science fiction and short stories?
Yes, I've done one screenplay, the screenplay of Moby Dick for John Huston.
Oh, really? Well, that was a whale of a job, wasn't it, huh? Are you married, Ray?
Yes, I am.
How did you meet your wife?
Well, she was a clerk in a bookstore downtown here in Los Angeles, and I went in to browse around, and she thought I was stealing books.
She thought you belonged to the Crook of the Month Club, huh? What was there about your wife that attracted you, do you remember?
She was terrifically intelligent and very well read.
How did you know? Just from seeing her stand in the store?
Well, talking to her after a while, and I found out she knew all of my books and stories, and of course this fascinated me.
You married this girl so you could sit down at night and discuss you, in other words.
Yes, it amounted to that, yes.
Well, can't that get fairly tiresome after a while?
No, I found it very refreshing.
Could you give us a brief outline of one of your stories, Ray, so I could get some idea of your work?
Well, I had a science fiction story in the Saturday Evening Post a couple of years ago called The Veldt. It's the story of two children who have a room with a wall-to-wall television in it. And they use this room to focus on Africa, and when their parents try to turn the room off, the children, with some mechanical gimmick or other...
What was this gimmick, you remember?
This was a secret. I can't tell you.
You didn't reveal it?
I didn't know.
That's what I suspected, huh?
At the end of the story, when the parents try to shut the TV room off, the children induce the lions to come out of the walls of the room and eat up their parents. That's the end of the story.
Well, it's a very sentimental thing. It's sort of like Alice in Wonderland and Little Women. Well, you're a very interesting couple, and I'd like to spend more time talking to you, but we've got to get down to some serious business. You're going to play You Bet Your Life. Now, you selected Movie Quiz. I'll give you a brief synopsis of some famous movies, and you give me the title of the pictures. Now, remember, one answer. What do you want to start with?
70?
70.
All right. Tom Ewell played opposite Marilyn Monroe in the movie version of a big Broadway success. What picture was it?
7 Year Itch.
7 Year Itch.
That's 7 Year Itch is right, yes.
Well, you're off to a good start. You have $170.
Did you see that picture, Ray?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What do you want to try now?
80.
89.
80. Yes, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Well, in 1943, Gary Cooper and Ingrid Bergman starred in the movie version of a novel by Ernest Hemingway. What picture was this?
For Whom the Bell Tolls.
For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Letitia, you hit it right on the button, huh? That's right.
And you now have $250.
And now what?
90.
90?
Mm-hmm.
Robert Donat's performance in the screen version of a James Hilton novel won him an Oscar in 1939. What picture was it?
Goodbye, Mr. Chips.
Goodbye, Mr. Chips.
That's right. It was about a poker game. Goodbye, Mr. Chips.
You now have $340.
And here's your last chance to beat the other people, the couple victims. What are you going to go for?
$100.
$100. In 1949, Olivia de Havilland played a rich young woman who was disillusioned by a handsome fortune hunter played by Montgomery Clift. What picture was it? Talk it over. The name of the picture.
Uh-oh.
It was The Heiress.
Ah, yes. Henry James.
Henry James is right. Not Harry James, but Henry James.
You wind up with half of the $340. You have $170.
Sorry you lost the last one.
Groucho, we have Joanne Allen and William Wolfe waiting to speak to you. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Say the secret word, and you each get an extra $50. It's a common word, something you see every day. Joanne Allen and William Wolfe, eh? You're probably pretty sick of jokes about your name, aren't you, Mr.?
Yes, I am, Groucho.
You are, eh? Well, that cramps me right there. Well, I won't try any Wolfe jokes. However, after looking at your partner, if you feel like howling, go right ahead and I'll howl with you.
Oh.
Joan, let's get some dope about you. Let's see now. How old are you, Joan?
I'm 25.
25. Huh? And where you all from? Huh?
Well, I was born in Shawnee, Oklahoma. But,
in where?
Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Shawnee, Oklahoma.
And then we moved to Texas when I was 4, to the Rio Grande Valley.
I see. Are you married?
Yes, I am, Groucho. I've been married 2 years.
Happily married?
Oh, yes.
How'd you meet your husband?
Well, I met him at a dance, and after I got home that night, the phone rang. And
You mean he didn't take you home?
well, I didn't go with him. I was with someone else.
You meant you went to a dance with somebody and you were flirting with this other chap while you were dancing with this fellow who took you? Huh?
I wasn't flirting. I just danced with him.
You danced with the fellow who called you up?
I danced with him at the dance.
I see. Well, what about the fellow who took you there?
Well, I danced with him, too.
Well, did the three of you dance together?
No, just one at a time.
Well, why did he call you up? Why did he call you?
Well, I guess he wanted to take me out.
Well, you were home already. Why did you want to go out again, did you?
Oh, yeah, the places are open all night down there. It's illegal, but they're open.
He sounds like a pretty rough customer. Huh? Well, what time of night was this when he called you?
2 o'clock in the morning.
2 in the morning, and you were awake?
I just got home.
And you got to bed?
No, not yet. Not when the phone rang. I caught it on the second ring. I didn't want to wake Mom and Daddy.
Where were they?
In bed.
Oh. Good place for them, huh? Well, what did he say when he called you?
Well, he wanted to know if I wanted to go somewhere, and then I pretended that I didn't know who he was, because I wanted Mom and Dad to like him, and if...
Well, they were sleeping, weren't they?
Well, you don't know when their ears are open, though, when their eyes are closed.
Yeah, you have to watch them like a hawk, those parents. Huh? Well, when was the next time you saw him? Was he hammering on the door for breakfast?
No, it was about 2 weeks later, Groucho. He was in the hospital.
In the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
It must have been some dance, huh? Was this a rock and roll dance and you rocked him? What was he doing in the hospital?
Well, he was injured on the job. He was helping move about a 400-pound object, and his feet slipped in oil.
Did he give you the old oil, or did he keep it himself?
He kept it.
Oh, now what sort of...
You asked me.
Well, that's true. Sure did. I ask everything. Now, what sort of work does your husband do, Joanne? Is that the way you pronounce it, Joanne?
Yes, He's
Very
a
pretty
cement
name.
mixer. Thank you.
He is a what?
Cement mixer.
A cement mixer?
Uh-huh.
Does he go putty-putty? Well, he must be an extraordinary cement mixer. That is, if your foundation is a concrete example. Now, Mr. Wolf, let's get back to you. What sort of work do you do?
I'm known as a vagabond bell ringer.
You're not Rudy Valley, are you?
No.
Well, what is a vagabond bell ringer?
Well, I go about
You
ringing...
go around ringing vagabonds?
No, not exactly. I go around ringing famous bells. And
You go around... Well, what do you go? You go around ringing doorbells?
No, I
Getting
travel...
out the vote?
No, I traveled around the world ringing famous bells. I've had the pleasure of ringing one of the largest bells in the world that weighs over 300,000 pounds. It's called the Bell of Kyoto in Japan.
Oh. Well, where have you traveled in your search for bells?
Well, I
besides
traveled to Japan, China, India, Siam, Burma, Iraq, Egypt, and all through Europe, South America, and the South Pacific.
Was your wife with you all this time?
No, I never married.
Well, that's a shame. You've been interested in the wrong kind of bells. You should go down to the beach sometime when the bells are pealing. You know, I had to leave town one time because of a bell at Santa Monica. This was one of the bells that tolled at midnight. She told the police. Well, I'd like to go on talking to you, but the time has come for more serious things. You know, you're going to play You Bet Your Life. You both know the rules? You do, huh? And we want one answer between you now.
In the race for the $1,500, the first couple won $170.
You took explorers and adventurers, huh?
Yes, sir.
And remember, the more the questions worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with?
Well, we'll start with $60.
$60. What was the name of the Spanish explorer who in 1513, while allegedly looking for the fountain of eternal youth, discovered Florida?
Ponce de Leon.
Ponce de Leon. Right.
You now have $160.
Now, what would you like to try?
Oh, we'll try 70.
70. Is this all right with you?
Yes,
All right. Thomas Jefferson assigned what two men the task of exploring the Louisiana Purchase and finding a route to the Pacific?
Clark and Lewis.
Well, yes, Lewis and Clark.
Lewis and Clark.
Same two fellas.
You now have $230.
You see, it was Clark and Lewis, but this was on their way back. On their way there, it was Lewis and Clark. Now what, 80?
We'll take 50.
50, all right. Oh, I'm glad you're taking the $50. Now, what was the name of the Spanish explorer who in 1541 discovered the Mississippi River?
De Soto.
That's why I wanted you to take the $50.
And you now have $280.
A Scottish missionary and explorer discovered the Zambezi River and Victoria Falls in Africa. Who was he?
Livingston.
Dr. Liverwurst. Dr. Livingston is right, huh? Better give him a big kiss, that wolf.
Well, husband is looking.
That's all right.
Well, you wind up with
We're married 2 years
$360.
already. Nobody cares.
He's a big Texan.
He's a big what?
Texan.
So I'll get rid of you fast.
Groucho, Miss Glory...
Who's next, George?
Glory Hoke, Miss Glory Hoke, and Mr. Walter Neal are waiting to talk to you. So, folks, you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word, and you each get an extra $50. It's a common word, something you see every day. Glory Hoke and Walter Neal, eh? Where are you from, Glory? Glory Road?
No, I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, and when I was about 6 months old, I was taken to Tallulah, Louisiana.
Oh, is that near Bankhead?
No, that isn't.
No.
That's quite far away from Alabama.
Oh.
And then when I was about 13, I moved to Norman, Oklahoma.
Where do you live now, Glory?
I live in the most wonderful city in the world now,
Where's that?
Pasadena.
You can't live in Pasadena.
Oh, I certainly do.
The only people who live in Pasadena are little old lady school teachers. That's true. They're trying to sell their broken-down used cars. Well, why do you think Pasadena is the most wonderful city in the world?
Well, we have a wonderful climate.
Is this the reason, the climate? Is that why people are moving into Los Angeles County at the rate of $30,000 a month?
Well, I believe so, and also because there are wonderful job opportunities out here, too.
Do you have a job, Glory?
Yes, I work for the Pasadena Chamber of Commerce.
And all your rosy talk about how wonderful it is out here is pure propaganda, huh?
No, it isn't pure
No,
propaganda.
It isn't?
No, Pasadena is a wonderful place. Wonderful place to live. Most people know about the Tournament of Roses Parade and the Rose Bowl game and Caltech, but few people know that Pasadena has one of the lowest pollen counts in the country for people who suffer from hay fever due to ragweed.
You mean that everybody in Pasadena has ragweed? Now, is it true that Pasadena is just made up of mostly elderly people?
Well, there are elderly people in Pasadena, but there are also a lot of young people there because of the type of industry, the electronics industry, the scientific instrument field. And after all, we have, let's see, I think it's 300 doctors for the 117,000 people in the population of Pasadena, and that's more doctors per capita than any city in the world.
Well, I guess all that talk I've heard about Pasadena is true after all. Their slogan is, you know, you haven't lived until you've died in Pasadena. What are you laughing at? Have you got ragweed or... Well, who are you? You're Walter Neal, huh?
I'm Walt Neal.
That's your name, huh?
Yeah.
I never heard of anybody named Walt Neal. Are you sure you're not Johnny O'Connor?
No, I'm Walt Neal.
Oh.
I know a John O'Connor.
Do you?
Matter of fact, went to school with a fellow by that name.
Where was this?
Saw him at Arlington Heights Grammar School in Los Angeles.
Now, where are you from? Are you from Pasadena?
I was born right here.
Right here in the studio?
No, in Los Angeles.
I realize that you've been standing there for quite some time. I didn't think it was that long, huh? Well, I hate to end this conversation so abruptly, but the time has come for me to go to Canada until this blows over.
In the race for the $1,500, the second couple leads with $360.
You select the cities of foreign countries. I'll give you the names of 2 cities of a foreign country, and you tell me the name of the country. And remember, the more the question's worth, the harder it is.
Should we start? $70.
$70. Here are the cities. Pilsen and Prague. You tell me the country.
Czechoslovakia?
That's right. Czechoslovakia is right.
You now have $170.
Say it again. I want to get it.
All right, you now have $170.
Can't you kind of stretch it out when I'm trying to light a cigar and say it real slowly? Try it once more. This isn't really lit yet. Huh?
You now have, according to my calculation...
Okay. Now, what are you going to go for, 80?
80.
All right, in what country are Halifax and Calgary?
Canada.
Canada is right.
And you now have $250.
And now, you want to try 90?
90.
All right, in what country are these cities? Sao Paulo and Bahia. S-A-O, capital P-A-U-L-O, and B-A-H-I-A.
Brazil.
You now climb to $340.
Shoot the
Your
word.
last chance to be the other couple. Shoot the words, yeah? Later we'll shoot Fenneman. All right, for $100. In what country are Bilbao, B-I-L-B-A-O, and Cadiz, C-A-D-I-Z? Bilbao.
Spain.
That's right, Spain. Spain is right.
And you wind up with $440.
The least you can do is give her a big kiss.
How about it?
And maybe a job.
Yeah, and maybe a job.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
And that means that Miss Hook and Mr. Neal with $440. In just 1 minute, will get the chance at the $1,500 question. Here's the winning couple,
All right,
Groucho.
George, bring on the winners.
I was going to. Miss Hook and Mr. Neal, all set for the $1,500 question. Right back in here, please.
Well, here's that little old lady from Pasadena. And that little old Johnny O'Connor. All right, you traveled all around the world. This ought to be pretty easy for you. Vincent Massey has been in the papers quite a bit lately. For $1,500, tell me what is the important post held by Vincent Massey. Talk it over. What now, Knave?
We think he's the Prime Minister of Canada.
No, you're close. He's the Governor General of Canada. So that means the big question next week will be worth $2,000. Well, they lost the big money. How much they win the quiz, George?
Went all the way, $440.
And the secret word?
I think they said the secret word, yes.
Well, congratulations, and thanks to all of our contestants on the show tonight.